All right. We have reached the second half of the show of the Takeover with Dami Oke, and I've got a special guest with me today. We've got the one and only DJ TGarbs in the building.
Ooh. Ow.
How are you, darling?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy Corona.
Happy Corona. I guess that's what we're doing now. That's the greetings that we're giving each other now. Happy Corona, I guess. So today we're going to be talking about the industry, basically.
Oof,
and females in the industry.
The absolute ghetto.
Females in the industry, what happens, how to navigate in the industry, and what happens in general, which is, the misogyny of it all, the sexism of it all, the, especially in your field where, you're, as a female DJ, there's like a handful of you guys, right?
Yes.
And it's very hard, I'm sure, to navigate through that and be taken seriously. When I think the DJ world is very male dominated.
It is.
And I'm sure, I mean, has anyone actually told you like, stop, go and sit down or
no,
whatever?
when I first started, there were a lot of people, so it's like two things, like two sides to it, but either side is not fantastic. So people were like, stop, because it's a male dominated industry and they're not going to take women seriously, which is a fact. And other people were like, nah, man, inject it, go and DJ, you're a fine girl, they'll book you because you're a fine girl. And it's like
none of it
none of that
you're
is
a good DJ.
None of that is taken into like account my talent, my skill set, how many hours I've actually put into my craft, nothing like that. So the industry is the ghetto.
It is.
I just want everyone to know, if you want to join the industry, welcome to the ghetto.
Yeah. It actually is. Lagos is very dicey in a sense that, you know what? I don't want to say it, but I feel like even within the industry, like females are at each other's throats as well.
150,000%.
Because they know that there's only a handful of you. It's like...
So I don't even feel they know it's like a handful of you. So like, I've said like so many times in the sentence, but in American high school sitcoms, there's like the token black guy.
Yeah.
For some reason, the entertainment society, whatever you're gonna call it, has made women feel like we cannot all rise and be at the top. It's like, no, it's a male dominated industry and we're gonna pick one or two token females so no one can call us sexist, and that's it. And it's kind of like, I've had to learn that the hard way. And I've had to learn that not everybody thinks like me. So it just puts you in a very awkward position, because how do you act when you are not in competition with anybody genuinely, but people seem to want to be in competition with you, like, and see, we're not fighting. We're not fighting. No. So it's exactly what you said. The industry, it's very, very dicey. It's very dicey.
It's very dicey in that sense. Like I see that happening. Even, do you know what? In any industry, it gets a bit competitive, and there's healthy competition, and then there's full on toxic, behaviors
healthy
that happen.
Competition is good. Healthy competition is really, really good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like women doing nasty things in order to like get one up on like their fellow women, that's when it becomes very
it does it gets very like, okay, what's happening here? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen it happen in the industry a few times when, let's say, like for instance, I'm also a stylist. And
she's stylist to the stars.
We're trying.
Stylist to the stars.
We're trying. It's small. Anyways, being on set sometimes, and you're like, either you're the only female, you and another female, are the only people that are probably on the whole set. Even the crew, they're all guys. Yeah. All of that, especially when you're doing like a music video or something like that. And a lot of the time, the girls that are there are either like maybe the makeup artist.
Yeah.
Or it's the video vixen or whatever, or the female that's like the playing the lead or whatever,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's always a thing where the girls are the ones who are giving each other side eye, being kind of rude to each other, being catty,
not talking to each other.
Like, even if they don't want to be catty, they're just like one's on one end of the other. And I get it. Not everyone's going to be friends. Not everyone's going to be besties
everyone
with each
has
other.
to be friends.
Exactly. Like, it is what it is. But, however, on these sets, there are guys who have never met before.
And they're linking up.
They're like, how far you? What's up? Like, and then all of a sudden, like, they're all bantering and everything and chilling by the end of the set.
And do you know what the worst thing about those guys are, yeah? The worst things about, like, comparing, like, the male interactions and female interactions in those situations is that the men will go on to have a cordial relationship. And if there's any way they can make money together or bring each other into money,
yes, they will call each other up.
They will do it. But women, they will rather, some women, not all, will rather die than say, okay, let me recommend my fellow woman for a job. Do you get?
Yes, and I find that such an issue.
Yeah.
Because I'm so against stuff like that. Like, just last week I was on a set, and that's why this came up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was me, the makeup artist, and I've worked with that makeup artist previously before. So she was there, and I was like, oh, hey, nice to see you again, whatever. And then, you know, the girls that were on set as well. And then there was actually a female photographer who was, like, you know, shooting the still shots. So as soon as everybody was waiting for me, because I like to take my time to show up on set, because, you know, when they tell you call time is 8,
stylist to this task.
No, the thing is, when they tell you call time is 8, you know that if you're there at 8, you're killing yourself.
Oh, Miami, my fault.
You know, you're killing yourself because they have to do makeup first, they have to do hair first. So I'm kind of the last thing they need before they start shooting. So I usually come like an hour after call time anyway. So everyone was there anyways. Everyone was ready. So I literally got there, and as soon as I walked into the room, I could see everybody in different corners. I was just like, hello, everybody. Like, literally,
like that.
You know, I was literally like, hello, everyone. What's your name? What's your name? Like, I was literally talking to everyone individually. Yeah. There was at least 10 girls in the room, right? Talking to everyone individually, and they were just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, it seemed like everyone was just in their little corners. Do you know what I mean? And then I was just like, okay, what are we doing today? Like, what are your names? What's up? Like, trying to get everyone together. And then there was a particular girl that just starts having an argument with the makeup artist, and she basically was just like, oh, I don't, like, she had those people that like to hold a mirror when you're doing the makeup every 2 seconds.
Their own makeup artist.
Yeah. She was like, this is not my first set. And I was like, darling, this is not my 50th set. But you doing this, and you're kind of,
it's disruptive.
And you're like, technically you're kind of insulting the makeup artist and not, like, by not trusting her. And she was the last person to do her makeup, so she's seen the makeup artist work on everybody else. Nobody else has complained. Everyone looks great, and, you know, she's the main girl now. No one else has complained. Everyone looks great, and you know, she's being disruptive. She's like, if you want me to do my makeup myself, I'll do it myself. The makeup artist was like, sure, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. And then she's like, well, I'm going home then.
Still gonna get paid.
She was like, well, I'm going home then. It's like, but sis, I literally had to say that. I said, listen, nobody asked you to go home. Nobody is telling you what you're doing is wrong. But what you need to know is that you need to be considerate of how you're making this person feel. You're making her feel like she's incompetent and she's not doing her job right. By you're not saying anything, but your eye rolling and you holding the mirror up and down, huffing and puffing it's not conducive for this environment, for everyone here, one, and for yourself, because we got to get the show on the road.
So I'm going to say something that might be a little bit not even triggering, but it might sound a little bit somehow, but I'm going to explain myself. I find that a lot of people in Nigeria make themselves feel good or make themselves feel important by putting other people down. And I've experienced that like by proxy and like myself, like firsthand. And it's always like, but Benny, why? Like, do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, so there's a promoter in Lagos. he does a lot of like the shows in Lagos, especially December time. And thank God, we thank Jehovah, I am booked in December.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, we thank the Lord. So last December, he kept throwing gigs at me, and he's like, can you do the cool, you've got a booking that day, but this is what I can do. So we work. Do you understand? And for every gig I cannot make, I always recommend a female DJ before I recommend a male DJ. Do you understand?
Yeah. And it's always a good thing to do. That's what I do that too.
Yes.
I do that too because I just kind of have this like assumption that the guy is going to be good regardless.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but not even that. But this is the wildest thing, right? In January, like I always try and this is the treatments I'll give you if you become one of my my employers. After December rush, I always try and like take up my employers just for a thank you lunch because you're putting money in my pockets after all. Thank you, come again. Do you get?
Come again.
So I took him out for lunch. We were having just like great conversation, and he asked me, why do I recommend female DJs? And I was like, I know how hard it is for me, what it was for me to get my foot through the door. And I'm still facing challenges. And if I can make it easier for any woman, I'd love to. And do you know what he said to me? He asked me, do you know why some of the recommendations that like I made, that he didn't follow up with them and he just booked who he wanted? Because they had approached him. He had said, no, he's thinking of booking me. And they have chatted, they had bad-mouthed me to him.
Wow.
Are you not a mad person? You have never met me.
Another angle. Wow. So you're telling me, okay, let's break this down real quick. Let's break it down.
And I promise you, these same women, they're in my DM, they kick. And me no, mama say kick bada because I'm not fighting you.
Wow.
It's not me that I'm not fighting you.
Wow.
I'm not fighting.
So basically, we are saying that.
I swear.
You go out of your way. You're recommending these female, like, okay, I'm not available, but this female DJ can do the gig. Feel like, and she's great. She's this, that, and the other. And that same person is like, you know what? Scrap TGarbs altogether. Have me because she's that and the other. Which is so crazy because I always say that, like, listen,
people, but
it's never you. It's never about you. Like, that's one thing you have to remember. It's never about you.
Dami, wait.
It's never about you.
Dami, you are talking as if you were not present for that situation at Christmas.
Oh.
You are talking like you are not privy to that situation at Christmas. Where it took the grace of God Almighty himself for me that I have not flogged anyone in like 5 or 6 years. It took the grace of God for the restraints.
The strength.
Michael and Raphael came down from heaven to restrain me. And you're asking me, can you No,
it's
just
never
very like crazy.
It's hard, and I think, but I'm trying to break it down, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Females in industry, I'm trying to really break it down and say why. Like,
we are
is it because? Yeah, is it because? Like, are we trying to? Because me, sometimes I'm not bitter. I just like to blame men for things sometimes.
Oh, I love that.
That's my toxic trait. I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to say, is it because women feel like they're in there's a couple of options. Is it that pick me thing where women feel like
that one's self-D?
Do you know what I mean? That pick me thing where it's like, oh, I'm better than her, pick me. Do you know what I mean? That type of thing. There's one, like, especially when the whoever is holding your destiny in their hands, the producer or the person that is doing the bookings is a male. Do they do that? Like, do you feel like it's because it's pick me situations, or is it because men actively pit women against each other anyway, and then they think, oh, let me run with it and say, it's me or her?
Okay, let me tell you. Oh, sorry.
Is it just like
people are mad?
People are mad, and it's like that sense of insecurity or whatever. I don't know.
People used to go through psychosis on a daily basis, so that was self-D. Let me. Okay, so how can I describe it? I feel like there's some men, not all, but some men do pit women against each other, right? When it comes to like publications and stuff, you will standardly see, oh, so who has the better dress sense? Yemi Alade or Tiwa Savage? Or they'll just compare women on some nonsensical level that they don't compare men on.
Right.
Men, it's literally just about the craft. Women, for some reason, people feel like they can just draw comparisons from everywhere else apart from the craft. Do you understand? I feel that's number one. Number two, women, we are our own worst enemy. There was one gig. I'm gonna tell you how much they offered me. Because women, even if you are starting off as a DJ, you cannot collect this amount. So they offered.
You know what? I think it's very important for us to talk about pricing and what we get paid.
Yep.
I don't think females talk about it enough. That's why there's a gender pay gap to begin with.
I'm so like, if I never stand on a rooftop and start screaming like, this is how much I get paid, because honestly, it's no one's business. But you probably know, you might not know the updated one, but last time we spoke, you know how much I get paid per set. Do you get? So like, I'm very free with that kind of information because I feel like men are sharing this information amongst themselves. And they are getting straight to the bag. The reason I'm a bit wary about sharing that information is because of the why. Do you understand? A lot of women want to know that information, not so they can be like, not so like they can position themselves in the right way. It's more like, why is she getting paid that? Is she getting paid that because she's sleeping with the promoter, she's sleeping with the club owner, or she's doing this or she's doing that? Instead of, okay, like, we are at a similar level. So instead of me saying to this promoter, I'm going to take X amount, which is undercutting me by far, I'm going to say, I can charge this amount. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I feel like with men, there's just automatically a community. But with women, there isn't that community there. That community is not there.
Yeah, somebody's getting vocal. Anyway,
sorry.
It's all good. I think I agree with you on that. But at the same time, I think there's no sense of community as well, because it needs to start somewhere. When starting this conversation, I loved. There was this interview I saw. I think it was Netta Porter. You can't remember what, but it was between Gabrielle Union and you know the interview.
All the black babes, yeah.
No, it wasn't even black. It was just
was Anne Hathaway there?
No, it wasn't Anne Hathaway. It was the one
that looks like
Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy.
It. Yes, we go.
Oh my God, why am I forgetting her name?
I don't know.
It will come to me. It will come to me. But Ellen Pompeo,
okay,
and Gina Rodriguez, aka
and the woman
Jane
from
the
How
Virgin.
to Get Away with Murder.
No, she wasn't in it.
She was there.
She wasn't in it. No, it was Gabrielle. There was Gabrielle. Gabrielle was the only black woman in it. Gina Rodriguez, Emma Roberts, and Ellen Pompeo.
I think we're thinking about two different interviews.
No, think about a different interview. But that interview changed my life. I won't even lie. Like, it sounds crazy, but it changed my life because these ladies, like, in terms of being in the industry and being a female in the industry, like, the conversation was so real that it was crazy. So all of them were talking about, Emma Roberts was quiet the entire time because she's a young white female. She had no idea about all of this. She was just like, wow, so this is what other women are going through because they're not white? Wow. But, we have a different kind of situation in Nigeria because, obviously...
Do you know what?
It's Nigeria, we're black. But what the conversation was about the fact that these females are not having conversations with each other about pay. So Ellen Pompeo... Ellen Pompeo, she's a white female, Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy. So she was talking about how she's a white female, she knows how much she gets paid, and she shares this with her black female friends and tells them, do not expect anything less than X amount because that's how much they offer me, and you should deserve the same. And she says she encourages her friends that, and then Gabrielle Union chimed in and said that, whenever there's a movie, right, and they're thinking, oh, you're brilliant, you're great, you're a great actress and we want you to do the gig, and she will say a price, they'll be like, oh, we'll get back to you, right? And it'll be expensive. But then do you know what she'll do? She will call all the other people that she knows that people are in talks with.
Yeah.
So this is why it's good for females to be connected with each other. Do you know what I mean? So she will call Viola Davis. She will call Taraji P. Henson. She'll call all these other ladies and tell them, this is or either that she calls them or they call her and say, did they offer you this gig? To be like, yeah. How much did you charge? Okay, I'm gonna ask them for higher than that so that you can get the gig.
Fair.
They do that. Like, they were like, this is the conversations that these black women have with each other. That, listen, I want you to win. Therefore, when they call me thinking that I will accept less than you, I will ask for even more so they'll come back to you. And that was crazy to me. And I'm like, the unity in that.
Yeah, there's not that.
The unity in that. Like, and because they have that conversation of, this is how much we get paid. So they all know that this is the standard we should ask for. So the bare minimum that we should all ask for. And that's why I'm saying that it's better for us to start sharing that this is the price that I want. This is what I deserve. At the level I'm at, this is what I deserve. And sharing it with other females in your industry so that, you know, we are all on the same page and we can all win, because there is room for everybody
to win.
Your style of DJing is completely different from another female style of DJing.
150%.
And they need, like, it's when we realize that you're only in competition with yourself, not the females around you, that is when we're going to do better.
But do you know what it is? That level of camaraderie is admirable, but honestly, I don't see that happening in Nigeria just yet. I don't see that happening in this space just yet. Because one thing we forget about is the Nigerian factor. Do you understand? When people are saying, I am hustling, they really mean that they are hustling. Nigeria has no social security. We have no healthcare.
Yeah.
There are very limited lines of credit. So once you are broke, baby, you are broke. Do you understand? So there are a lot of people that would rather, for example, they would rather take 50K, because that's 50K in your pocket, rather than risk that 100.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's why promoters, especially with women, they have things a lot cheaper, quote unquote. If I'm charging 500K, they literally look at it as, isn't it just for a woman to DJ? But there's one DJ that'll take 50K there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
Because that is just, at the end of the day, making it harder for anybody in that group, in that space, to get their bag.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before.
So they think because, okay, you say this. I think that's the problem as well. You're right. You're right in that sense that there's always somebody behind you who would take
who is
less.
willing to take.
They're willing to be disrespected and take that.
It's not even
less.
like less in a sense where, okay, we're doing it by greed or we're doing it. Okay, let me give you an example. When I first started DJing, right? Well, maybe not when I first started DJing, but like I was DJing for a minute. And I'm not going to say who you are, but you know who you are.
We're not going to give them that power.
So they came at me and they were like, we really love the way you DJ. Da, 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 da. We like your brand. We like this. We like that. And they were like, how much do you charge?
They gas you up first.
And I was like, this is how much I charge.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, our budget is 50K.
Wait, what?
I promise you, our budget is 50K. Our budget is 50. No, listen.
Wait,
when I land, you're gonna be shocked.
50K for what? For how many hours?
They wanted me to DJ for 2 hours. I said, brethren, like that 50K isn't even like half of what I would get for an hour of DJing. And you want me to DJ 2 hours for that? I just said no. At that point, I wasn't scared to say no to money because I personally believe it's not all money you should take.
Absolutely.
So I said, no, I'm not doing it. Best believe they got people I knew to call me to try and get me to emotionally black. And that's another thing, yeah. I wouldn't say emotionally blackmail, but I would say emotionally manipulate me into taking that money. Like,
because
you're
for
not my guy.
Exposure, you should
fine,
do this
don't
for
worry.
me. They'll have you better gigs next time.
Like,
all that stuff.
And
all
don't
that
believe
palaver.
that rubbish that, next time we're looking for, they will not look for you, my dear. They will not. So, they got people that knew me to try and get me to take the gigs. They got like someone, like 2 or 3 people to pretend to be an agency to try and book me for the gig at the same. I was thinking, listen, it's not the date that's the issue. It's the amount you're paying me. Up your pay and I will do it. We're not fighting. So then the flyer came out and I saw it was another female DJ. So I was putting it on. I was happy. But in the back of my mind, I was just saying, I hope she didn't take that 50K. So that DJ, I know, like, it's not really her older sister, but it's like her egbon.
Yeah.
And she was like, T, come, I want to ask you something. And I was like, what's up? She said, how much did you quote these people, like, for like your charge? Because they said that you were too high. That's why they didn't book you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I said, because I know her as well. I'm cool with her.
Yeah.
I said, well, I charge X amount.
Yeah.
And that's what I told them. Her face dropped. She looked like she wanted to cry. I was like, what's going on? Do you know what they did?
What?
They called her. They called the DJ that they booked and said, oh, TGarbs said she charges 50K for 2 hour set.
Oh my God.
Listen, TGarbs, but that is over our budget. So can we pay you 30K? And she took it.
Fuck.
But this is the thing. If those lines were there, if those relationships were there, it would be easy to say like,
yo, T-Guys, let me ask you something.
I'm not even trying to ask you what your pay is, but I'm just saying, like, they said you charge this amount and da 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 da. I was like, I can never charge that much. I said, I can never charge that much. That's ridiculous. I won't. Huh?
But
what?
You know what?
Like, people that ask me to DJ for free because they're my guys, they give me that as like, transport money. Do you get? And that's not like gas talk, but it's just like, because there's no camaraderie, because it's always competition, we give room for men to get in between us, to worsen those lines of communication, right?
Yeah.
And to also allow room for them to come in and disrespect everything.
Yeah,
and those lines of disrespect are never checked.
Yeah.
Because there's no camaraderie.
And at the end of the day, you think, oh yeah, this other girl, like, do you know what I mean? Do you know when they were asking that girl to DJ, they didn't need to mention your name at any point in time.
They didn't need to at any
but they
point
did
in
that
time.
on purpose. They name dropped. Like, doesn't matter what female it is, yeah. The fact that they mentioned another person's name in order to make sure you get a gig is a red
very
flag.
Nasty thing.
It's a red flag. Like, for me now, it's happened to me before, where an agent tried to book me to style a campaign, and they said this other person, and they mentioned the person's name and was like, oh, this other person wants to charge us X, Y, and Z, but it's too much. Like, we think you're better anyway. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting, and they're trying to make you take the job and manipulate you and do like, oh yeah, well, I'm better than her anyway. Like, they try and put that in your head that, yeah, you're better than her, you are great, but this is our budget. That is them trying to manipulate you, then say, A, fuck that other girl. That's what they're trying to tell you. Two is that they're trying to tell you that you are the shiznai. They're trying to gas you. And so then you in your head, you're like, yeah, I'm the shiznai. You are the shiznai. Cool. But you don't need someone to tell you that. And you don't need them to bring down another female in order to tell you that you're the shiznai. So if you are accepting that, that's also on you. As a female, that's also on you. And for the girl to take 30K, she doesn't value herself. I'm sorry. Me, I cannot even do 30K.
I was shocked.
I'm not even in the same line of business. I can't do 30K. For those people who want to know what 30K is, isn't that like 100 euros?
No, that's 60. No, that's 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
That's about 59 euros.
No.
Yeah, for
60
2 hours.
pounds.
I'm sorry.
60 pounds for 2. I cannot even do 60 pounds to style somebody. I can't do it. So like that right there is like, there needs to be more communication. So how do we fix this? How do we fix this now? How do we get females in the industry to just work together?
What, yeah.
I don't know. Like,
do you know what? Let me not lie. When I first came to this country, I was Cape Crusading for women. I was really Cape Crusading for women. I was like, no, we have to build a community. We have to work together. We need to do this. Unify ourselves.
you
it's
cry.
almost give me.
You cry.
And
it happened to me before.
I look at the matter. I reason. I must say, you did not come to this there to die. You did not come to this there to die prematurely, dearie. So for your sanity, free the matter, right?
Even me, that I'm from little old Ireland, yeah, and I feel like, do you know what? I always say this all the time, but me being from Ireland, like Ireland is just such a happy-go-lucky place. It's actually like, no, I'm telling you, like
the luck of the Irish.
Yes, being in Ireland, yeah, like growing up, I didn't know that it was embedded in me, but when you're walking down the street,
like you smile and you say
smile
hi.
at people,
yeah,
you say
believe
hello,
it or not,
you
South
start
London is like that
conversation.
sometimes. Don't look at me like that.
No, South London, you people are murderers and killers. I'm joking.
Wow.
I'm joking. It's a lie. Stop, London people. I love y'all.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's a lie. I'm joking. But no, you don't understand. I'm in Dublin. Yeah, I'm an OG. I'm a thug. But when I go to London, I humble myself.
Respect is necessary.
I humble myself because
even me, down from the streets of South. When I get to London, I
humble myself. But anyways, the point I'm trying to say is, when I came to Lagos, I was very much like, everybody should love each other and smiles, and I smile
and
at
be
people.
Friends and
Let's
collaboration.
all be friends and collaborate and work together. But best believe this country should be prepared when it comes to females and, you know, just the lack of support. And even if you look at a female, yeah, and you're just like, hi, they're like, what's yeah, like, it's very much like, why are you talking to me?
Do you know what?
Why are you looking at me? Why are you trying to have a conversation with me? And just a random hello with a smile, with a handshake. Even the handshake is like
it's
this. It's like
very
they touch the tip of your fingers, like as if you have corona in your hand.
Do you know what?
I don't understand.
A lot of people think I'm proud, yeah, because when I go out, I keep myself to myself. I'm very much like to my group of friends. I'm mad chill. Like, unless
and we're
I
always
know
the loudest in the room.
No, but this is the thing. That's when I'm with my guys. Like, I can relax.
Loudest.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But like, if I don't really know you, I'm just very quiet. I don't say anything. And that's because in this country, it can be very toxic. Do you understand? It can be very toxic, and you never know what direction that level of toxicity is coming from. Do you get?
And you know, I didn't understand it for the longest time, but slowly but surely, yeah, the frustration in this country will make you bitter.
Yes,
it gets you there. It gets you bitter.
If you allow it.
Do you know, it got to a point where another stylist, I'm not going to mention, another stylist actually started to badmouth me.
Now, I know who it is. Scary.
I never met this girl in my life. I never met her before, and I like, designers were literally like, oh, well, she said you don't want to work with us.
Men will do it to you too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was just like, wait, what? Like, I'm telling you, I actually got to a point of tears because I was like, I don't know you.
Yeah, I've cried as well.
Do you know what I mean? And it happens. And the thing is, when I met her, the first time I met the girl, I was like, hi, nice to meet you. And she was just like, and I was just like, oh. So at that moment, I just took it but I just shook it off, and I still like interacted because it was on a work set. So I still interacted with her that day. Like, I always put that aside. I don't care if you like me or not when I'm working. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. We don't have to like each other, but we have to get along for the job.
Cordial for the job.
For the job.
Yeah.
I'm on job at all times. You can fight me later, but you're fighting with yourself anyway, because I don't care. It's water off my back.
Destiny, dude.
Exactly. It's water off my back. But when it started affecting my business after, I was like, but who is this? Someone had to check up on you. Because I didn't even want to.
You didn't want to deal with it.
But it was when I first came here, so I was just like,
do you know what?
Why?
That leads me on to my point. Yeah, I feel in this country, I've learned. Yeah, no one wants to rate you till you're important.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm important, so, and like my friends know me, I don't really, except to them, I don't really like to shout about my achievements like that and things that I'm doing, because one thing you if you live or if you move to Nigeria, one thing you'll get to learn is that there are a lot of people that have like this social media perception that they can get anything done and they're amazing, and when it comes to them actually doing it, it's almost zero. So I never want to be that person. But what I've realized is when certain people have found out certain things about me or certain things I'm able to do, that's when they've gone to giving me the cold shoulder to like, hey T, how far now? And it's just kind of like,
you have to be able to navigate that. You have to be able to know what's real, what's not. Like, so it can again to the bitterness, because then it's like you're trying to make a real friend and then you don't even know if they're trying to be your friend or they're just trying to get something from you. And it is what it is. But sometimes it can be to your advantage in a sense that me and my friends, we always do this thing that we're just getting real with each other and just talking about real stuff. And we have to make intentional relationships. There's that as well, that, you know, not everyone's going to be your friend, but don't be fake either. Yeah. If you want something from someone, just, you know, have a conversation with them. Show your hand. Don't try and be my bestie. And then
if they can do it, they'll do it. If they can't, they can't.
It is what it is. Like, there's people are not that difficult. Like, you know, if you really want something and you know that it's beneficial to yourself or beneficial for the person as well, or it doesn't take anything from their pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a matter of having a conversation. I hate people when they come over and say, hi, how are you? And you're like, okay. I'm like, I know we don't talk. And I'm like,
what do you want?
Okay, hi. And me saying hello, how are you back?
It's like, what?
Okay, tell me what's
But now, if you now reply
no, nothing much. What are you up to?
If you now reply with, what do you want? You're now rude.
No,
please. I just want to get to, like,
just get to
me, honestly.
Whenever I said someone, I'm like, in the same sentence, I'm like, hello, how are you? This is what I want. Like, in the same
so
sentence.
Everybody knows.
Send.
I just feel like there's some people that, I don't know, like, everybody...
Hey, I don't think this... Is it recorded? Yeah, it is.
Okay. I just feel like everybody should just be upfront about their intentions. But because a lot of people, their intentions aren't pure, that's why they can't be upfront about it. Yeah. But I just feel like going back to what we were saying about like women and the lack of community, I feel like the only way, I can only speak as a DJ and I can only speak on the like industry I'm in, do you understand? But I feel like there are a lot more women that are at a disadvantage, because they don't want to be real with their fellow women.
It's true.
It's doing more harm than good.
It's true.
Because this is the thing now. This is the thing. As women, there's some people that I will never work with. I don't care how much you pay me. But like, so guys, if you're, as a woman, or if you're moving to Lagos, word of advice, you have to decide which way you're going to swing before you set foot in this Lagos. You need to decide whether your moral compass is facing north or it's going to fluctuate left and right. When I came to Nigeria, I said, I am not sleeping with anybody for a come up. I'm not sleeping with anybody for a job. I don't give a fuck what happens.
Me too.
I said it. That thing have choked me several times. I would have built a house in Banana by now.
Oh my God, it's preach.
But do you know what the maddest thing is? Let me tell you what the maddest thing is, One of your Oshi or day, very stupid man. One of your bank MDs have offered me $3 million. Hard currency, not naira, dollars, to sleep with him. And I said no, because I'm a mad person. However, there's some women, that even though this is what you're not doing, to make themselves feel better,
they'll say that's what you're doing.
They'll say that's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Like,
it's because she sleeps with
isn't it because she sleeps with
booking
X, Y, and
agent.
Z?
That's why she's job.
Getting this gig. No woman should be on that lineup. She slept with somebody on the
to get there. Absolutely.
And it's like,
and it's women. It's women that be saying it, and you're just looking at it like,
Genesis
what?
is women.
It's
women are our own worst enemy.
We are our
and
own problem.
All I can do is pray for everybody.
I would say like the same thing. Do you know what? A friend of mine, shout outs to Karima. You know, it really, what she said to me really stuck with me before I left. And she said, you know, she was just like, one thing is just, it was very simple. Just don't compromise. That's it. Don't compromise.
Once you compromise,
she just said, don't compromise yourself, your integrity, your body, any of it. Do not compromise. And that is one decision you have to make when you come to Nigeria, because I'm telling you, dick will fall everywhere.
It's not even that. It's a very slippery slope. Do you know what it is?
Like, if you say yes to one person, and best believe, doesn't matter how much you portray yourself as, I'm a church goer, I don't do this, I don't do that. Anybody from anywhere, it's you, it's the innocent ones they're looking for. Any guy will come up to you and say, I can offer you this money, or I can take you to lunch,
do you know
take you to dinner, get you that job, get you that position, whatever it may be, buy you a house, buy you a car. All of it will come, and they will ask you these questions, and it just takes one slip up to be like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it. And for the girls who do that, no shade to you, do you, that's cool. But for me, for myself and my path, I want to be able to say I did it all on my own. I want to be able to say that I had no help. I had okay, if I had help,
me and God.
Me and God. I don't want to say I had to sleep with someone in order to get a certain thing. Do you know what it is?
I don't want to have that. Should I tell you why I even made that decision not to sleep with anybody, or not to put myself in untenable situations? Should I tell you the honest truth why? Did I say the honest truth?
Drop it now.
Because I'm rude. I'm no.
You know, it's like it's the audacity for me.
I don't know how. I don't know how to talk, because I cannot be abusing somebody's daddy, and then they will now come. Isn't it you that slept with? Everybody they have to die. Everybody have to good night. I don't know. Like, when I'm angry, I don't know how to talk, and nobody can drag up. Like,
nobody can be like, oh, shut up there. You slept with this guy for the car you're driving. I can say it with my full chest.
I can say it with my full chest. Prove it.
Prove it.
No, prove it. No. And if you don't prove it today, I'm gonna flog you.
If you don't tell me who it is, you're a bastard.
No, I swear. So, like, I just feel like a lot of women don't realize it's doing more harm than good, right? This whole, like, lack of community.
Yeah.
But I just feel like at the same time, we women are our own worst enemy, and it's very, very frustrating. As someone that's tried, as someone that's honestly tried, like, even to this day, like, I might not actually actively scream woman, because there are a lot of people screaming women, but behind closed doors, what they're doing is nasty.
Oh my God, I encountered someone like that just literally recently.
Are you serious?
Literally a couple of hours ago, let's be honest. Like, no, like, there's a female, I'm not gonna say who she is.
I know who it is.
I'm absolutely not gonna say who she is at all, because there's no point. But like, she screams women empowerment a lot of the time, and she does this whole, you know, help each other, and I don't get why people hate me. I don't get why people like, but sis, you are a bitter, horrible person. And I'll say it with my chest that, you know, she doesn't give credit when credit is due, and she's not a team player as well. And I'm not trying to bash her or anything, but like, because I've seen that that's who she is, I just stay away. But meanwhile, you still come and meet me. Why? Like, why? Like, leave me be. Like, the best thing you can do for those kind of people, do not fire back, because you will look like the mad person. Because in social media and to the world, they seem like they're the ones who are putting women on, because that is the facade they have painted for themselves. So you look crazy if you're trying to come at them with a, no, you're not, da 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 da.
Yeah.
There's no point arguing with, don't argue with those people. Stay clear away. But the moral of the story is, it's up to us to do better.
150%.
If you don't see someone else doing better, and you're trying to do, keep the same energy, no. Let's get rid of that keep the same energy quote that we keep pushing everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I feel like keep your energy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't change your energy because someone else is doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is where hate comes in, and you start being confused with yourself, and you're like, am I this person?
Me?
Am I not? Is it me? Sometimes you are the toxic friend. Sometimes
true.
you are the toxic woman that is not putting other females on. You never check yourself. I think it's very healthy for us people to constantly check ourselves and say, could I have done something better? Could I have helped this other female? I love how Gabrielle Union, she checked herself and she was like, I was the toxic friend. I was the friend who always brought women down. And I realized that it doesn't serve me or serve anyone else. And the moment you realize that, it's better for everybody.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, I'd say women need to just check themselves more.
Yes, I agree.
What would you give as your and share, and actually in your friendship groups, share what you get paid in your friendship. I think so. If you're trying to help someone else, share what the general consensus is of what maybe if you don't want to say what you would get paid exactly, but what the general benchmark should be.
You should not you should not take less than.
Exactly. So can you give that advice if for other female DJs or females?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. I'm not going to say it runs with every female DJ. There have been female DJs that we've linked up and we've spoken, and they've asked me for help. We've ended up helping each other. Do you get? But there are, I don't know how to describe it. Well, what would my piece of advice be? I would say stop looking at another woman as your competition or as filling up a place you are entitled to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We all have our own paths. We all have our own special talent. We all have our own unique selling point. We all have our own niche. Do you understand? Find yours and literally work it. Do you get? Stop looking. I never look at another woman. If another woman has a gig, has gotten a gig I wanted, it's never, she doesn't deserve it. I can't. It's never that. It's, thank God, at least there's a woman on the lineup.
Yeah.
One, and all right, what do I need to do? What area do I need to work on for me to secure gigs like that in the future? Do you understand? I feel like once we stop looking at each other as competition and certain women stop feeling entitled and looking at other women as filling up spaces they should be in, then we can now start talking about community.
I think that I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
I hope I was able to.
Yeah. And on that note as well, tell us. I think, for other female DJs that are listening, tell us that ballpark figure that they should expect.
To be honest, if you're starting out as a DJ, maybe this is your
give the different levels.
Your first year, your first 18 months. And okay, I can only talk about if you have been on your grind. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about, I've just decided to become a DJ. You can't see any evidence of that on my page. I haven't done any gigs. Me, people, the amount of free work I've had to do just to build a portfolio, more it happens. So I'm talking about the first year of you being on your grind. Honestly, you should not be taking less than 100K for a full set. And a full set is about 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. You should not be taking 100K for less than a full set.
Okay.
Working up from that, you work up to taking 100K an hour. Do you understand? You work up to taking 250 for an hour, 350 for an hour, and so on and so forth. The aim for a DJ.
So the benchmark is 100K.
Yeah.
Would you say it's the same thing for
I would
over
say
in the UK?
Converting, I've converted the figures. Do you understand?
Okay.
So for a night, a DJ would play for 2 or 3 hours. Mostly, especially a startup DJ would play for about 3 hours.
For those who want to know what 100K is, it's 206 pounds to be exact, and 225 euros.
Yeah, so 100, what was I saying? Yeah, so most DJs in the UK at that level would get between 150 pounds to 200 pounds, which is about 75 to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Do you get? And I would say you also need to give a reason as to why you're increasing your
prices. Yeah.
So every year or every 6 months, however you want to do your price review, you need to look and say, okay, this 6 months I've done X, Y, and Z. It's build my profile to A, B, and C. Therefore, I can increase my price by X amount of percent. Do you understand? Okay, this part, if you want to do it yearly, okay, this year I did A, B, C, D, and it increased my profile by this much. So I feel like I can now start charging this much as well.
So basically a yearly review of yourself as well.
Yeah, a yearly review. I'd say 6 months, especially if things are happening. Because what usually happens is like
you get booked more, you get more
like
gigs,
things happen because of things. When I say that, people always look at me like, are you on crack? What the hell does that mean?
I mean, if you get one gig, it's going to be a butterfly effect.
Yeah, you get one gig, someone can hit
coming in, one person
so
will hear
when
you
people
here,
tell
and
me that like, oh, they're not getting gigs yet. Okay, you're not getting gigs yet, but what can you do to get gigs? Can you play somewhere for free? Can you do something on social media? Like if you do things and you're consistent, like more things will come
your
but
way.
You need to start. Like no one starts at the top. Do you understand? So
I think that's it. Yeah.
This from someone that's been grinding. Y'all niggas don't know how many things I've done for free in my life. Y'all don't know.
It is what it is. It be like that.
It be like that. So it's just a grind. It's just a hustle. And good luck to everybody. Women, please love each other. Thank you. God bless.
Yes, that's the final note. Women, please love each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
let's actually be able to come together. And it sounds like a myth. And it sounds like a myth. It almost sounds laughable at this
sounds
point.
like, hey, really?
But
we have been fighting this fight.
We'll fight this fight. We'll continue to fight this fight. And if you are the toxic friend, please fix up.
Yeah.
And if you are the toxic friend, fix up, do some self-evaluation, because a lot of us don't know. Not all of us can be the one that people are doing me. Maybe you are the doer. You don't know. Maybe you're the doer. You never know. So it is what it is.
That's a big
All right, that's it on the takeover. Thank you so much, TGarbs.
Thanks for having me.
You have spit some bars today. So thank you so much for coming through and spreading some positive messages out there. And this has been the takeover with Dami Oke. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.